Hello everyone and welcome to How Knows for Beauty. Yes, it's been quite a while. First video of 2021. The last video I did was about 8-9 months ago on kitchen magic, and then I did another one on vaginal health and whatnot. But I'm so happy to see you here and to have you joining me in this first video of 2021. I hope that this video finds you in great health and spirits, and I'm very grateful to be here again to help you through your holistic journey. So you all may or may not know, I'm Jessica, and I'm the writer and creator of How Knows for Beauty, the place for all things mind, body, and soul, and just elevating everyday life. But today, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite holistic products or tools that I use to help me during my holistic journey. As you know, health definitely is wealth, and health is at the forefront of many things that we should look forward to live a healthy, peaceful, and balanced and harmonious life. Some of you may or may not know as well that I'm currently working on my holistic health practitioner certification for my state here in Pennsylvania, and it's been 2 years on the run, working, studying, researching, and all that great stuff, and I'm just about to get my certification, and I'm very, very grateful and excited to finally get into that point of, being certified. Although I have, as I've been looking through my homework and assignments and things of that nature, I've been doing this holistic stuff for quite some time. Since 2010, when I started my blog, I will always dabble into some holistic products, holistic methodologies, such as traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, homeopathy, and things of that nature. But I never really took the initiative to become certified or make it official. But definitely holistic medicine, holistic methodologies has always been part of myself and part of my interest. And I'm just very glad and happy to have had some sort of structure to lead me into what exactly I want to specialize in and what exactly I want to do for the community once I get my certification. And it has also helped me kind of narrow down my purpose or my mission as to what exactly I want to do with all the information I've acquired throughout the years and with my certification. So of course, this is the main first platform that I'll be exercising or channeling some of that energy. I'm just so grateful and glad to be given the opportunity to be here. So I won't dabble along too much because I've always been told that sometimes I can go in and really talk a lot or get to the point of the video or whatever the case. But as a teacher or as a person who is sharing her experiences, I don't just like to cater to the short attention span that we're seeing today. A lot of people are just tapping through stories, tapping through things, a few second type of videos and clips. Whereas when you're garnering and gaining information is so important that you really get the whole story, you get the whole background, and you get the information. When you're learning about things, it's not just a quick fix or a quick 30-second clip or tutorial. A lot of information comes from information. It definitely comes from a background and the history. And so I always like to be very thorough and clear as to what I'm sharing, why I'm sharing it, how I'm sharing it, when I'm sharing it, and giving that personal touch and background of my story when I'm sharing something here. So without further ado, today's video is going to be focusing on my favorite holistic health tools that I've used throughout the years and that has been truly tried and tested. Some I've used for many, many years, such as my Neti Pot, and some more recently, such as my Gua Sha and so forth. But a lot of these methodologies that I've tried for myself definitely works. And as I'm getting more deeper into my studies, I've seen through other studies and research that these things really do have an encompassing wealth of information to provide you with these balancing methodologies that we need in our lives. So I wanted to really share with you just 5 quick things and tools that I use for my holistic health practice and rituals on a daily or regular basis. The first thing that I wanted to start and touch on is the Neti Pot. So I used to deal a lot with allergies, sinus congestions, and things of that nature. And one of my first actually holistic methods or alternatives, as opposed to taking Advil, cold and sinus, or taking, spritzers for the nose, or, anti-inflammatories, I always wanted to give my body a chance to heal itself and also use natural and alternative methods as opposed to taking medicine or anything of that nature. So the first thing that I started with was a neti pot. And the neti pot is so useful and great to use because it's very simple and it really gets to the point of what exactly you're dealing with in terms of congestion. Now, for me personally, congestion and sinus issues had a lot to do with my consumption of dairy, such as milk, cheeses, also a lot of sugary products, cakes and things of that nature. But dairy was definitely one of the main issues and irritants that would trigger a lot of my sinus congestions and infections. So when I first found out about a neti pot through my research and trying to find something that would relieve me of so much congestion, irritation, I found the neti pot. Now, this is a ceramic pot that you fill with saline, and I know it's become a little bit popular, but not too popular because its use is not too keen from a lot of people. A lot of people find it a little bit weird having to, drain their nose and whatnot. But actually it's very, very useful because not only does it help with congestion and clear out the sinuses, it also helps to clear your mind. Every time after I use my neti pot, when I feel like I'm feeling a little foggy headed, or I'm feeling congestion, or I'm feeling that my sinuses are acting up, I use my neti pot and use a saline solution. Now, you can purchase the saline solution at any natural health store or online as well, or you can make your own. I typically make my own with pink salt. So basically I just get a bottle of water, make sure that it's purified or distilled water or spring water, and I just fill it up, use a saline solution, but filling it up with pink salt to help me gain a little bit more of that saline solution. Now, you don't want to add too much. You want to add as you go. Sometimes I just start with a gallon of water and then keep that. But you can use half a liter as well, or one of those 16-ounce water bottles, and then just add a teaspoon and adding a little bit more as you like, because again, you don't want to irritate your nose either with the saline solution, because it definitely gets in there. But once you get your saline solution and you're comfortable with the measurements and the concoction that you put together, you simply fill it up with your neti pot. You fill your neti pot with the saline solution, and at times I would like I prefer room temperature water, which is best, so that way again you're not causing any sort of constrictions or any blockages with cold water, and of course you're not burning your nose or your nostrils with too much hot water. So warm room temperature water is best with your saline solution. And anytime you feel like you can use a little clarity in your head, or that your congestion is starting to reappear for whatever reason, you want to use your neti pot. But neti pot definitely is something that I always recommend, as opposed to using any nasal sprays that can be also irritants or anything of that nature. I typically prefer and go to my neti pot, and it always works. Yeah, so I definitely recommend a neti pot. You can again find this online on Amazon, your local natural health store. Just pretty much research, and I prefer a ceramic one. I know there's different types of other neti pots and different sizes, but this is the classic one that I've always used. I've had this probably for 8-9 years now and use it religiously, and it still holds up as new. I just keep it in a nice place. I rinse it off, make sure there's no dust around it, and use it regularly on a regular basis. So yeah, so if you're having issues with sinuses, congestion, or anything of that nature, a neti pot is definitely the way to go. The next thing that I want to share with you all is my dry brush. My dry brush is definitely a godsend. I truly love this stuff. Before I shower at night, or before I start my workouts in the morning, I like to use a dry brush just to help stimulate. What a dry brush does is that it helps stimulate the lymphatic system, which is in charge of releasing any toxins that we may have in our system, in our bodies. So this is a great way to not only help the skin and exfoliate the skin and give you beautiful, bright, and lovely glowing skin, but also exfoliates and removes dead skin cells. But it helps you to stimulate your lymphatic system and also protect and boost your immune system from having any sort of stagnant energy around the body. body. So this helps with circulation. It helps to invigorate, again, the lymphatic system, to avoid any sort of inflammation, to avoid any stagnancy in terms of toxic buildup or anything of that nature. Now, the way that you would use a dry brush is you start from your feet in lightly circular motions and working your way up to the heart. So I usually have another one. I have a smaller one, which is a little bit more handheld, like this, and there's a round brush that I use for under my feet, because if after I'm working out or anything like that and I use my dry brush, I don't want to use it for the rest of my body. Although my feet aren't dirty or anything, but still, you know, it could be sweaty and you don't want to mix the two, especially if your skin is sensitive. So I would keep one for my body and one specifically for my feet. But once you start using it, you start using it at the bottom of your feet, start scraping up, super soft. You don't want to be rough where you're irritating your skin. And then you work your way up to your heart. And that, again, helps stimulate the skin, helps exfoliate the skin, helps with circulation, and helps boost your immune system and your lymphatic system to prevent any sort of toxic buildup. I use this once a day or sometimes twice a day when I do work out in the mornings, just again to help me stimulate before my workout or even after my workout. I also use it at night and love to shower at night to help give me that extra feeling of invigoration, but also help calm down my system and my body. And what I like about this brush is that you can remove the little stick that it has behind it. And like I said, you can use it as handheld. So as you work your way up, you scrape up towards your heart, up your neck, your chest, the sensitive area of your breast, your stomach, all up to the heart. And I use this little feature that it has here. I got this on Amazon. I will link it down below. But then I also like that you're able to add the little stick behind it and get to those hard to reach areas in your back, my lower back, my upper back, in the middle as well. And so very handy. When I first was researching a good brush, I wanted, of course, you want to make sure you get natural bristles. This is a Boar natural bristles, because if you get any sort of the artificial ones, it may irritate the skin, especially like myself if you have sensitive skin. But you want to get a natural Boar bristle brush or any sort of natural bristles that, again, will help with exfoliation and not irritate. So the next thing that I'm going to share with you is something that I recently started a few years ago, which I truly love and has become such a trend now. And it is the Gua Sha. I keep it in this little pouch bag here, but I have had 3. My smaller one fell and broke, but this is a jade Gua Sha, and I actually have a tutorial on my blog where you can read and also see the benefits of how to use a Gua Sha and its purposes. So I have a quick tutorial also on my channel and a blog post indicating the benefits of a Gua Sha. But this is a jade roller, not a roller, I actually have a jade roller, but this is a rose quartz. This is made of rose quartz crystal that I will link down below where I got it from. And they have different shapes to the tools, but as you can see now, it has become such a great trend, which I'm so happy because definitely is beneficial. This is the one that I use the most because it really aligns with a lot of the shapes on my face and also the shapes along my face, and helps along with my under eyes and my forehead. So this is the one that I use primarily, but the toolkit that I had came with 3 pieces. I use this sometimes, like if I'm just working my way up and I'm sitting in front of my computer or watching a movie, I lightly massage myself with this one. But this is the one that I use mostly when I'm really into my self-care and facial, after I do a steam facial, or if I'm doing a face mask, I will use this. You want to use this with oil. I use almond oil or jojoba oil, whichever is best for you. Some people use coconut oil. I personally can't use coconut oil because it does break me out. It tends to be a little bit too heavy for my skin type, but for the rest of my body, it loves coconut oil, but not my face. So I normally stick with jojoba or almond oil. And then I just use this and massage it along my face. You don't want to tug and pull. You just want to make sure that you are using very soft strokes. Now, Gua Sha is very ancient in Chinese medicine, and the typical Gua Sha is very rough, where it actually breaks down some blood capillaries. And just like dry brushing, it helps invigorate and also promote healing and detoxification. And this is mostly used if there are any diseases. According to traditional Chinese medicine, sometimes diseases or illnesses tend to get stuck in our organs or in certain areas of the body. So the Gua Sha is a great way to kind of expel and remove that and create flow within the body and circulation as well. This is also good to help promote detoxification by invigorating the lymphatic system as well. So there's so many great, not only beauty benefits of using a Gua Sha for the face, but there's also great health purposes and benefits to using a Gua Sha in the body. So if you have a local traditional Chinese medicine doctor or clinic that you can go to, you can look into seeing the services that they may provide for providing Gua Sha massages or Gua Sha techniques for the body. Although it's a little bit more intense, where again, you know, broken blood capillaries or bruising can happen as well if you're very sensitive. But that is a way of really getting deep within the tissue of the skin and removing any toxins or any sort of illness or diseases that may be hiding deep within the tissue of the skin and the organs as well. So Gua Sha is definitely my tried and tested. As you can see, you know, I don't have the best skin, but I have some great skin. It helps also improve, you know, any puffiness that you may have around the eyes or the face or that double chin and whatnot. Definitely my greatest and most fun tool to use, and very relaxing too. So if you want to use this at the end of the night or after self-care routine, definitely very relaxing and recommended to just help wind down for the day, but also giving yourself a little bit of that massage and good feeling. So Gua Sha definitely recommended if you are looking for a new beauty regimen in your beauty routine. Essential oils has become my favorite way of really getting in touch with my emotions, and another holistic method that I like to use to really help smooth things over, to help calm me down, and also can be used for a variety of purposes, which is why I love using essential oils, because it has so many different components of holistic medicine and being used not only for the first aid kit, but for beauty, for emotional health, and so forth. So the way that scents work or aromatherapy works is that it gets in touch. Scents really gets us in touch with our emotions. As you can smell some cookies or have a special perfume, it kind of can bring you immediately back to a memory. And why that happens is because scents immediately takes us to the limbic system of our brain, and it goes through the amygdala, the hippocampus, which is related and connected to emotions and memories as well. So this is why essential oils are a great way to deal with any sort of emotional imbalances, such as depression, anxiety, or anything of that nature where we're not truly feeling ourselves. Using essential oils can be a great way for you to connect with yourself and bring yourself back to balance. I also have this, not only the aura cassia oils that I use, but I also started using the Young Living Thieves Oil, and I did a blog post, not a blog post, Instagram post talking about the history of Thieves Oil and how it was used during the bubonic plague. And what I love to use this roll-on, which is so easy, is to use it on my pressure points under my feet before I go to bed, and also around the points of my lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is so important because, again, it helps regulate and keep any sort of detox or any sort of toxic cells or anything that is flowing through our body that needs to be released. Our lymphatic system, once it's stimulated, is able to do that job, since the lymphatic system it's not like a pump like the heart where it's pumped and can move things around. You really need to stimulate it with either exercise or massages to help remove any sort of fluids or extra fluids that may be in our system, especially those that they're in charge of working with, which are toxins and things of that nature that we get from our foods, from our environment. But this Thieves Oil definitely is a must. I highly, highly recommend it. Not only is it good for the lymph nodes that we may have and the pressure points of our bodies, but also helps invigorate and cleanse and purify. So every time I smell my Thieves Oil, I immediately get the sense of clarity, and I feel like this a little bit invigorated and feel my energy lift up a little bit. Another one that I love is Ylang Ylang, which is very soothing and calming. So at the end of the night, when I'm getting into my beauty or self-care routine, I like to really take a little whiff of it because it's just so, what it says here is for soothing, for seduction. Oh my god, and it smells so good. I also have sweet orange, which is brightening. So if I'm going to study or anything of that nature, or start my day off on the right way, like the sun, I use my sweet orange. Rosemary I use to stimulate my scalp for hair growth, and vanilla oil to help smooth and calm. This is the one that I use mostly for my diffuser, and I love eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is amazing, super clearing and clarifying, and I love to use this during the beginning of 2020 and the pandemic issue that we were having, just to clear the air of any stagnant energy or any sort of, you know, toxins or bacteria that may be in the air. Having a diffuser with eucalyptus and lemon oil truly is amazing, and also helps uplift and clarify the air. So yeah, I truly love essential oils. It's my favorite way of using it because, again, of its versatility. You can use it for beauty purposes, you can use it in cleaning products, you can use it for pressure points in the body, you can use it as massage as well. Just make sure that you dilute it before you put it into direct contact with the skin. It can be used for so many different things, especially for emotional balancing as well. So essential oil is a great way for you to connect with plants and the different components and see which one really resonates with you on an emotional level. Last but not least is water. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm that annoying person. Yes, almost every day or every other day. Lately, not too much because I don't want to be that annoying, but I always encourage people to drink water. And here is my Sole water. I also have a blog post and also a tutorial on how to make your Sole water. The Sole water is so amazing. I cannot stress it enough how important drinking water is. However, not only just drinking water, but the quality of your water. Sole is a saline solution. I don't use this one specifically for my Neti Pot, as I mentioned earlier, but Sole water definitely is great because it comes from the Himalayan mountains in Pakistan. And a lot of salt lamps I've seen being used for the same purposes, for clarifying, purifying the air and the environment. But I use this mostly for its mineral content. It is said that salt water, especially pink salt or Celtic gray salt, has over 84 to 94 different minerals that the body needs. I mean, it's incredible how much minerals are overlooked in our bodies and how essential it is to maintaining not only body health, but our brain health as well. So using Sole water has become a godsend for me. It is great for so many different things: high blood pressure, sinus issues, to clear the mind, to boost the mood, to keep you hydrated. So many great benefits of using Sole water. So basically what I use is either spring water or distilled water or even bottled water. Just make sure that it's not tap water. You use this, you find a glass jar, because as you can tell, you know, it has some little salt rings around it. So if you use anything that's metal, you don't want to use that because it will turn corrosive and it will corrode the product for you. So make sure that the lid and everything is all glass, and you just keep your solution here. Every morning I give it a shake, use my little dropper where it is, and drop it into my water. Definitely amazing. So many great benefits. As I mentioned, it's on my blog. You can check it out to look at the listing and read the listings of all of the amazing benefits that Sole water has, as well as a tutorial on my channel on how to use it. Along with that, I always like to recommend this revolutionary book, which is Your Body's Many Cries for Water, titled You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty, Don't Treat Thirst with Medication. To make sure that we drink at least 8 glasses of water, at least half a liter. I always try to make sure that I drink at least 2 liters of water a day just to keep myself hydrated, because if I don't, I immediately notice how dry my skin gets, how I start feeling sluggish and tired. But I wanted to just go over some of the points here that this book talks about. And dehydration is related to rheumatoid arthritis, depression, stress, anxiety, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, overeating, being overweight, just all types of pains, asthma and allergies, and so many different ways of how the hidden miracles of salt is. So I'm going to go to page 154 and share with you some important points here that this doctor has found. So salt is a strong natural antihistamine, which was so interesting to me because I've always used to take Advil, cold and sinus, or antihistamine type of medications to help with my sinus allergies and over sneezing, and I didn't understand what histamines were. So histamines pretty much is an overactive production of histamines in the body, which is truly a reaction of the body when it's dehydrated. It can be used to relieve asthma by putting it on the tongue after drinking a glass or two of water, or you can use saline water. It is as effective as an inhaler without the toxicity. As we know, a lot of inhalers and prednisone and asthma medications has a lot of anti-inflammatory inflammation type of medicines. They're also there are steroids as well, so it causes a lot of weight gain and so forth. So you should drink at least 1 or 2 glasses of water and before putting salt on the tongue. But I like to use Soleil water. Salt is also an anti-stress element for the body. Salt is vital for extracting excess acidity from inside the cells, particularly the brain cells. So when we get headaches or migraine, that's because the brain is contracting itself and trying to, it's like shrinking with something. Our brain is like a sponge. If you don't give it water, it's going to get hard. You've seen a sponge like on the sink when it doesn't have water. It gets very, very hard and crinkly and dry. That's pretty much how our brain is. And when it's in the skull, contracting so much like that with no water, it definitely causes a lot of headaches and migraines. This is also related to Alzheimer's, so don't go salt free. And I'm not talking about the regular table salt that's been extracted of its natural components and minerals, as I mentioned. You want natural salt such as Celtic gray salt or pink Himalayan salt, where it still hasn't been processed at all of all its natural components and elements, such as white table salt has been. Salt is vital for the kidneys to clear excess acidity and to pass the acidity into the urine. And without sufficient salt in the body will become more and more acidic. Salt is also essential in the treatment of emotional and affective disorders. Lithium is a salt substitute that is used in the treatment of depression, which again is one of the minerals that can be found in salt. To prevent suffering from depression, make sure you take some salt. Salt is essential for preserving the serotonin and melatonin levels in the brain to help with sleeping. It also helps with removing toxicity waste from the body. Salt is also a preventative measure to help bring and oxygenate the body. Salt is vital for maintaining muscle tone and strength, and in so many different ways of helping with sleep regulation, with the treatment of diabetes. It's also hydroelectric. So I don't know if some of you remember from grammar school or grade school how we had that experiment where we would use salt and water to light a light bulb. There's one amazing video, many amazing videos on YouTube where you can see how salt water is conductive to electricity, which is the same concept with our brain. Our brains, in order for it to click and have all these things, we're electrical, so we need electrical components to help our brains electrify. And so there's so many different ways of how cell communications and how the process of the cells in the brain are able to communicate with one another. But salt is vital to the communication and information processing of nerve cells in the entire time that the brain cells work, from the moment of conception to death. Salt is also vital for absorption of food particles through the intestinal tract. It helps with coughs, with sinus congestion, and so many different things that I can just go on and on about it, which is truly miraculous. So this book, Water, written by Dr. Batamagledish, I hope I said that right, is your body's many cries for water. You're not sick, you're thirsty, don't treat thirst with medication. Definitely a must-have for any household, especially if you're dealing with different sort of health ailments. So that is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and my quick rundown of my favorite tried, true, and tested holistic health methods that I use to keep myself healthy, and just the ways that you can look into different types of tools and holistic alternatives to medication, to medicines. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a certified doctor, I'm just a health practitioner, really helping and sharing with you my experiences and how important it is to give at least holistic methods a try and introducing it into your lifestyle, as opposed to always running to quick fixes. Is important to work with our bodies to give us the balance that we're looking for. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you got something out of it. And if you're trying, or if you're curious in trying one of these methods that I shared today, please make sure to tag us at Hell Knows for Beauty on Instagram, or leave a comment down below and sharing your experience. Thank you so much for your time, and have a blessed, beautiful, and healthy 2021.